This is the ultimate guide to becoming an A+ student and how I got 5 distinctions in Matric. I will be giving you guys some study tips, common mistakes to avoid. Hey guys, it's your girl Khanyi Cakes and I am back with another lit vid. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back to the Cakes Club. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Khanyi Cakes. If you didn't know, now you know, so subscribe. Welcome back to another YouTube video, you guys. So if you are watching this, you are in your Matric year. This also works for university students. I continue to get distinctions in university. Pass with distinction, and that's all, period. Okay, so these tips even work if you are out of high school. So I hope this is going to be helpful for you guys. This is a very highly requested video, but I know it's almost time for final exams, so I think this is the perfect time to be uploading this video for you guys. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope you have a notebook near you to take some notes. Okay, I am not gonna waste any time, so without further ado, let's get straight into it. So before I actually get into the tips, I'm just going to be telling you guys what subjects I took and also giving you guys a little bit of a background about my schooling career. So I have just kind of always been blessed. I'd say I am smart. My intelligence alone is not enough to carry me. It's not that thing of if I don't study, I'm just going to get 100%. No, I am smart. However, I still do need to put in the work in order for me to really excel. You know what I mean? I will put just a screenshot of my grade 10 report and so it's just to kind of give you guys an idea of how my marks were. So in grade 10, when I finished my grade 10 year, I finished off with 2 distinctions. So Afrikaans, I ended off with an average of 92%, and then another subject that I really enjoyed, life orientation. I mean, obviously that was easy marks. So grade 10, I wasn't really proud of my marks. I knew that I could do better. You know, I hated mathematics throughout high school. I'm more of a theory person, so I'm absolutely not a fan of numbers. I'm also currently studying law, and that is definitely a heavy theory-based degree to be studying. You know what I mean? So I hated numbers, guys. I just forced myself to do pure maths because I knew that that would open up more opportunities. So if you are watching this and you're in grade 9 and you don't know what subjects to take next year, I would highly recommend you do pure maths, even if you don't like it. But when it comes to theory, I am absolutely fantastic and spectacular at those subjects. Okay, honey? So that was my grade 10 report. As you can see, when I first started, I was doing physical science in my grade 10 year, but I ended up dropping it. I didn't want to study anything that required me to do physics, and honestly it was just too stressful for me. Hated it once again because it involved numbers, and that is not for me. Okay, so when I first started in term 1 in grade 10, my English was 81%, my Afrikaans 92%, mathematics 68%. As you can see, it is the lowest mark. I didn't like maths, as I was saying. Life orientation and 81%, dramatic arts 90%. I absolutely loved dramatic arts. I actually wish I could go into theater at some point in my life. I loved it. Physical science, I got 72. I really wasn't bad at physics. I honestly just didn't like it, and I didn't want to do it. One thing about me, if I don't want to do something, I'm not going to do it. I'm very stubborn. Life sciences ended with a solid 84%. My overall average was an 81%. So in term 1 of grade 10, I did get 5 distinctions. I did get 5 distinctions, and in term 2 as well, 5 distinctions again, same average. Term 3, 4, I got 4 distinctions. If you can see, my physical science marks really went down. I ended up getting 49%, so hence why I really stopped studying for physics, stopped caring about it. I just didn't want to do it anymore. Beginning of grade 11, I decided to drop it and take business studies instead. My grade 11 report, I ended the year off with 2 distinctions again. So my marks started becoming, you know, Not really the way that I wanted them to be, but they were not horrible, as you can see. Maths, again, hated it. Only got 54% at the end of the year. But that was my grade 11 report. So when I did get to Matric, I had so many people be like, oh, Matric is so hard and all of that. But I decided to just silence the noise. You know what I mean? So anyways, I'm just going to stop talking and get straight into how I did it, how I excelled in my Matric year. And yeah, I hope this is helpful for you guys. So first, I'm going to start off with 5 common mistakes to avoid when you are about to write your final exams or any exams overall. So number 1, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. I don't care how smart you are. If you don't set your goals and say, I want to get an 80%, I want to get 3 distinctions, or you are not specific, I promise you, you are not going to achieve anything, because what are you working towards? If you don't plan how many hours you need to study, how much effort you need to put into each subject, you are not going to do well. Okay, so that is the first thing. Plan, guys. Write things down, set specific goals, and say, I want to get a distinction in these subjects. I just want to show you guys something. One of my actually biggest testimonies. Okay, 6th of September 2023, at exactly 5 in the morning, 5 a.m. I remember I was praying while writing these goals. In Afrikaans, life orientation, business studies, English, and dramatic arts. Look at how many distinctions I got, and in exactly which subjects I got distinctions in. This was literally around this time in September last year. I wrote goals down and I said, I want to get a distinction in these 5 subjects, and I did exactly that because I was working towards something. So make sure you write your goals down. I have a calendar. So there are these calendars that I use every single year. Got them from P&A. It has all the dates for the year. So I'd really recommend you get this and you write things down. You plan out each and every single day of your life. Planning is very important. Number 2, stop pulling all-nighters, guys. A rule that I have made by myself is that if I don't know it by midnight, I don't know it, I'm gonna go to sleep. There's absolutely no point of you pulling an all-nighter, okay, only getting about 1 hour of sleep, 2 hours of sleep. I used to do that in my grade 11 year, my grade 10 year, and honestly, it really didn't do me any good. By the time I'd get to my exams, I was really tired. All that I could remember was what I crammed from my textbook, but when it came to application questions, I didn't really do well because my brain wasn't functioning, because I decided to not sleep at night. You know what I mean? So make sure that you do prioritize getting good sleep. That is very important. Number 3, stop wasting time trying to summarize your whole textbook, making cute notes with 50 different colored pens. Okay, that is definitely not going to help you. A lot of people do that, spend 3 weeks summarizing, and then only start actually studying the content 3 days before their exam. That is not going to help you. Try to only focus on things that you're struggling with. As a student, it's very easy to prioritize the subjects that you're good at, to make notes for that, make summaries, you know what I mean? But that's not going to benefit you. Number 4, stop comparing yourself to other students, especially top achievers, and find a study method that works for you. And something that a lot of students do is they'll be like, oh, okay, she said she stays up all night, or she only studies maths for 1 hour per day, so then let me also do that, and then maybe that will help me to really get good marks. Maybe that person is naturally smart when it comes to numbers, and you have to put in a little bit more effort. So even the tips that I'm going to be giving you guys today, draw them as inspiration, but really explore and experiment and try find out from all these things that I'm telling you guys today, which methods, which tips, and which resources really work the best for you. Do not copy someone else's methods, because we are not the same. We also don't take the same amount of time to really grasp content. You know what I mean? So make sure that you don't copy what other people are doing and be like, oh, okay, she said she only starts studying 3 days before her exams, so I think if I do that, I'll also be fine. Someone might start studying a week before, get 7 distinctions, but you might have to study 2-3 months before, and there's nothing wrong with that. We all take different amounts of times to actually really grasp content and to learn. Number 5 is not doing past papers. I promise you, no matter how many times you can study the textbook, even if you know it off by head, if you don't take what you have studied and apply it in past papers and past exam questions, you are not going to do well. It is very, very important, and this is a crucial step that most students miss. They just study and be like, okay, I'm done studying, whereas you didn't do past papers. If you have studied but you didn't do past papers, you have only done half of your work and you are going to only get half of your marks. So it is very, very important to apply what you have studied. Do past papers, do past questions, redo the exercises that you did in class, the ones that you didn't do that well in, so that you can actually apply what you have learned and make sure that you didn't just cram but you understand your work. The next thing we're going to talk about is how to create an effective study timetable. The most important thing when creating your study timetable is being very specific. A lot of students are normally just broad and are like, okay, I'm going to study mathematics for 4 hours. I'm going to study maths today. Yes, you're going to study maths, but which topics? For how long are you going to study that topic? You know what I mean? It's also very, very important to prioritize the subjects that you are struggling with. So normally when I study, I like to use something called the 3-2-1 method. Sometimes I switch it up and I make it 5-4-3 or 4-3-2. So 3 hours on a subject that you really struggle with, 2 hours on a subject that you're average at, and then 1 hour on a subject that you're good at. Normally I would try and do 4-3-2. So that is a total of about 9 hours of studying. That is a lot of time studying. So what I would do is spend 4 hours on a subject that I really, really struggle with, take a 1 to 2 hour break, then spend 3 hours on a subject that I'm average at, the one that I get 60s in, 70s in, and then take a break and then spend 2 hours or an hour on a subject that I'm really good at, but obviously I still need to study. You know what I mean? So let me just give you guys a rough overview of what I would do. So from 8 to 12, study mathematics, then take a break from 12 until 2 p.m. and then from 2 until 5 p.m, life sciences, the human body, just as an example. Then from 5 until 7 p.m, I'll take a break, and then from 7 until 9 o'clock, I'll do English home language, focusing on language questions, things like tautology, adverbs, nouns, stuff like that. So this all depends on the subjects that you're good at. If you're good at maths, then you can spend 2 hours on maths, but if you really struggle with a subject like Afrikaans or life sciences, then spend 4 hours on that. You get what I mean? So make it tailored according to what you are struggling the most with. So this is a typical study timetable that I would follow, and I planned how I would study a month before. This is very, very important in order to make sure that you make enough time to finish everything that you need to study for the exam that you're going to write. Okay, so don't just plan daily, do an overview as well and be like, okay, I have 4 chapters, it will probably take me about 3 weeks to cover these 4 chapters, or I have 10 chapters, it will take me about 4 to 5 weeks. Make sure that you do that, so that a week before your exam you're not panicking, you're like, oh my word, I've only done half of the textbook, I still have so much to go. So make sure that you divide everything that you need to study accordingly. When you get the scope or the demarcation for your test, divide it and be like, okay, I have 100 pages to get through, I am going to do 15 pages per day or 20 pages per day, and that will take me roughly a week or 2 weeks. You get what I mean? Make sure that you do that. Now for study tips and study methods that I would recommend, I'm going to give you multiple ones so that you decide which 2 or 3 work for you. So the first one is the 1-page method. This one is just absolutely amazing. I'll just put an example, if I can find it, of how I would make my summaries. So that really, really helps with deceiving your mind. Instead of you studying from a textbook with 200 pages, now you only have to study from about, 10 pages, 10 big pages. And that is definitely helpful. That is way better than you skimming through a textbook and trying to cram 200 pages from the whole year's work. You know what I mean? So really, really try and compress your information as much as possible. A lot of people, when they make summaries, just rewrite what's in the textbook in their own words. That's not very helpful. You need to summarize the content. Making notes is not just about rewriting what's in the textbook and then you're like, oh no, but I study better when I read from my own handwriting. No honey, you are just wasting your time. Okay, so make sure that you compress your information as much as possible. Another method that I would recommend is active recall. Now, active recall is just engaging your memory instead of you just passively cramming from the textbook. So how I would practice active recall, I would teach my siblings, my little sister sometimes, what I have learned. And then if you're doing a specific topic, like for example Euclidean geometry, and you need to memorize rules, I would just write all the rules on one paper without looking at my textbooks, without looking at anything, and just to see and gauge how much I remember and what I still forget and what I still have to go back to in the textbook. Another method that I would recommend is the 3-2-1 method, as I had mentioned. So this is basically spending 3 hours on a topic that you really struggle with, then you spend 2 hours on a topic that you're average at, and you spend 1 hour on a topic that you're good at each day. So this makes sure that at least you're studying about 3 subjects a day. Don't dedicate full days to a subject, guys. That really wastes your time. You are working on time. Okay, it's not like you have the whole year to study for these exams. You don't have much time. So try and study at least 2 to 3 subjects a day, but do not be like, okay, this day I'm only studying maths, tomorrow I'm going to study life science, the next day. Time, my darling, time. Okay, so make sure you use the 3-2-1 method. Another method I'd recommend is the Pomodoro technique. So what this technique entails is basically you studying for a certain period, taking a break, studying for a certain period, taking a break. So for me, for example, if I'm gonna study for 4 hours, I'll study for 45 minutes, then take a 15-minute break. During your study breaks, guys, do not go on TikTok. It's better for you to maybe watch a YouTube video and be like, okay, I'm gonna watch this YouTube video that's 10 minutes long and then continue with my study session. Because the moment you go on TikTok, you go on social media, you are not gonna focus. Save social media for your longer breaks. Save watching TV for your longer breaks. You know what I mean? Rather go outside, breathe, sit outside in the garden for 15 minutes. Do not go on social media. Okay, if I feel like I do have a lot of energy, then I'll study for 15 minutes and take a 10-minute break. But if you do have a very small attention span, there's absolutely nothing wrong with studying for 25 minutes, taking a 5-minute break, studying for 25 minutes, taking a 5-minute break. So depending on your attention span, make that work, guys. But don't be like, I'm gonna go study for a straight 2 hours. Your brain needs some time to process the content that you are studying. It doesn't help you being like sitting there for a straight 4 hours. By the time you finish your study session, you realize, oh my word, I forgot the content I was doing 2 hours ago. So give your brain some time to really suck up and absorb the content that you have been studying. And lastly, guys, no matter which study method you follow, the best study method is past papers. Past papers. No matter how smart you are, no matter how well you know your textbook, if you don't apply it to past papers, you haven't done enough. Another tip is the best study resources to use. I'd say the best study resources, YouTube, guys. Don't be afraid to watch YouTube videos. Sometimes your teacher might be a good teacher, but the teaching method that they use really doesn't help you. That was the case for me in some of my classes. So I would go out of my way to maybe get a tutor, watch YouTube videos, whether for mathematics, so that I can get a different perspective, even for life sciences. It really helps. Watch YouTube videos, get someone your age, a classmate who really is a top achiever, who excels in that topic, to reteach the information to you. There is nothing wrong with admitting that you're struggling. Please do that. But yes, guys, overall, that was it. So despite being smart or anything like that, we all need to put in the work. Put in the work, and I promise you, you will receive the results that you want. Okay, you reap what you sow. So I promise you, if you spend time getting the help that you need, doing past papers, switching off, deleting social media if you have to, if it's that much of a distraction, you will reap what you sow, guys. Plant that seed of hard work, of doing your work on time, getting help, and I promise you, you're gonna do well. Make sure that you also pray before each exam. That was it for this video, you guys. I hope it was very helpful. Comment down below what other academic videos you guys would like me to do, what study videos you'd like to do. I would love to hear your opinions. And yeah guys, good luck with your exams, good luck with the rest of your academic year. You've got this. Study hard, do your best, and let God do the rest. Okay, you've got this. So please follow me on all my socials: my Instagram at Khanyi_cakes, my TikTok at Khanyi.cakes, and lastly, please do not forget to leave a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe for more LIT content. Until next time, you guys, love and light.